Hey, what's up everybody? BDL 44 coming at you with another video. Alright, so talking about Patrick Beverly's new Laker. Welcome to LA. Obviously, much has been said on this channel about the acquisition, all that good stuff, but the one thing we didn't mention at all is what this means if we start the season with Russell Westbrook on the roster. Now, a lot of people remember the history between Patrick Beverly and Russell Westbrook, many different instances, including Russell Westbrook's real only serious injury in his career was when Patrick Beverly kind of ran into him. I don't remember exactly how the play went, I honestly don't, but he ran into him whilst Westbrook was on the sideline and bumped into his knee or something of that nature. I don't know how that exactly went, but I'll go back and look to be certain. But that's the history there, and then they've had some good battles as well where it's been chippy, very chippy between the two of them, and probably some other stuff too, so that I do not remember. But what I will say is, the one thing I do remember about Russell Westbrook getting injured on that play was that the announcers had said that was his good friend, that they knew each other off the court as friends before that. That's the little bit of a memory that I have in regards to watching that play live and hearing the announcers talk about it, seeing them go at it as the game got to that point, because they were already going at it that game. But yeah, that was what was told to us, that those two were buddies off the court, that they had a good energy about them two, about each other off the court. So if I'm going to take a look at anything at all, I'm going to look at the fact that if that was the case, then whatever their issue is, they should be able to sort it out, even if it means running a fade. The point is, they have a history and they're on the same team now, so they got to figure it out. And these are both two wildly competitive and serious and intense competitors. And so what I understand is, even if they got problems, they're going to bring the best out of each other in practice, and they're going to bring the best out of those young players in practice as well, is what I'm expecting to see happen. And plus, I don't expect Russ to be on the team very long at all. This is the assumption that the Lakers are not able to make the trade, for which I actually still think is going to happen before the season begins. I really do believe that. Not probably before training camp, but before we see guys put on the regular season uniform, I do think we're going to see Russell Westbrook either in, he's going to be in a different uniform. Whether or not the Lakers get back what we want is a whole other story, but I don't think we're going to have to go through this process. But if for some reason we do, I think he and Patrick Beverly are going to end up learning to respect one another as teammates for the very first time in an NBA basketball uniform, because that's a different perspective. I've seen guys have issues with each other as teammates. I've seen guys, appear to have issues as competitors, and then come together and be the greatest of teammates and win championships together, hug each other at the end. I'll never forget Metal World Peace. Kobe won me a championship. And we know they had battles prior to that would make you think that they would not be friends. So I don't read too much into that at all. I really don't. I think this is a brotherhood, the NBA. If people have problems with Patrick Beverly, I honestly think it has something to do with maybe certain things that he said on ESPN this past summer. Kind of making people feel like he was willing to say certain things that maybe otherwise he wouldn't have if he wasn't trying to get that position. But that's the nature of the business. He ain't the first athlete who's tried to step into that arena and not really known what all he could and cannot say, not really know exactly how best to go about keeping his relationship strong while still giving the game of being a analyst the best version that you can give it. So that balance is something that he kind of teetered on in a negative way to a lot of guys, I imagine. Based on my own perspective, looking at it from my own point of view, I felt like there would be some gripes from some people. So that's what I think. If anybody has any issues, I think it would probably have something to do with something like that. But as far as him getting on the court and being able to run with Russell Westbrook, unless they have some real street issues that I don't imagine are real, then they could talk out whatever they need to talk out and play basketball, man. I don't think it's as deep as the media wants us to believe it is, and I think most of us know that, but love to play into the narratives anyway, because it's easy. It's easy to not think and it's entertaining. But if we really give it some actual thought and apply our own relationships in our own lives and people we see in our lives, we know that there are certain things that can keep you from being able to work with someone. But when you're a competitor and you are on the opposite end of the sport, and y'all come together and y'all battle in between the lines, and someone gets hurt or guys have to say some things, I mean, at the end of the day, if it needs to be worked out off the court, men will work it out off the court. You know what I mean? But as far as for the sake of being in between the lines and entertaining the public, yes, you may keep up the battle too. I hope we can fathom that guys do that. They know we're watching, they're entertaining us as well. So a lot of times they're going to keep that up just for the betterment of the narrative. No different than I think some athletes do certain things and do things a certain way so that they gather our attention just the same. They're all trying to push their brand and ultimately establish their lane. So, you know, a guy like Draymond Green's going to have battles with players just off of the strength of that's what his role is going to be. That's what his DNA is going to provide. So with that comes room for us to say, oh my goodness, he has problems with guys. But then we find out he's best friends with all these people that you think he has problems with. He's able to talk out these situations that you think are just, you can't get past the B word. Yes, you can. If two men decide to sit down and say, yeah, I'm sorry I said that, this is the context I said it, this is how I felt. Or, I'm not sorry I said it, I stand by that, or whatever. Men come to conclusions, dude. It's not one of those situations where we have to assume that everybody is always standing on the same problem over time. You know what I mean? Could it be possible those guys have issues? Of course. Yeah, it's possible. But what I'm saying is for us to just automatically assume that they're not going to be able to play on the same team just because we are aware of some of the stuff that we've seen, I don't think it has to go that way necessarily. They don't have to go that way. Now, ego will make it so they can go all kinds of different ways, but I don't think that's something that the public would necessarily be aware of if those type of situations take place anyway. A lot of times we won't know about some of these guys who have real problems with one another. You know what I mean? That's not something you're going to hear about at all. But, you know, as far as I can tell, the Lakers are going to do everything they can to make sure those two guys aren't even on the same team to begin with. But if for some reason they are, they're going to go after the same goal. The Lakers are trying to win a championship. And they got to help each other do that. So whatever problems they have, whatever issues they got to work out, I'm sure they will work it out. As a unit, not just those two, but as a unit, the Lakers will come together and fix whatever chemistry issues they need to fix. And look, Darvin Ham is a big part of that. Granted, he and Russell Westbrook haven't gotten off to the greatest start, but Darvin Ham is going to have to be the guy that makes it so that those two can coexist if for some reason they have to. And I trust that he's the personality that's going to make them stay focused. You know what I mean? I listened to Pat Beverly in regards to what he was talking about. I agree with him to a degree. The Lakers needed some leadership. LeBron James can't be responsible for everything. You know what I mean? And I don't believe Anthony Davis is that guy, personality-wise. I don't think LeBron James is necessarily that guy, personality-wise. But I definitely know Patrick Beverly is that guy, personality-wise. We watched him do that with Minnesota. He got the best out of those young guys. And even though it's a little different when you're dealing with vets with championships, I think a guy like LeBron James has already stated on the record, he likes being pushed. He likes people crazy around him. He likes when people are holding him accountable. So he's going to be held to task with that. I think a guy like Patrick Beverly is going to be willing to say things to him on the court that other guys may have never been willing to say to him. And he better be ready for it. Because Patrick Beverly don't have the type of filter, you know what I mean? And so I would expect LeBron James expects Patrick Beverly to come through and be as real as he's going to be. And whatever come with that, you know what I mean? Mentally be prepared for that. And so, and let it propel you to being better, not into being upset. Because he's going to say some stuff, but at the end of the day, I believe he want to win. And he's not going to take no garbage from us. You know, in terms of some of the stuff that went on last year when nobody was able to step up and say, yo, we need to play a center or something like that, Patrick Beverly would have threw a fit in that locker room. You know what I mean? It wouldn't have been no situation where Frank Vogel would have been able to effectively move around comfortably at all. Because Patrick Beverly would have been on that man case. And so that's why I think Patrick Beverly brings so much to our team, even if he ain't active. Even if he, you know what I mean? Even if he's not playing, he's going to be a voice in that locker room to say, everybody, get it right. And no, I'm not holding my tongue. I don't care what your politics say. Get it right. And that's all I want. That is what was missing. You know, certain toughness. You bring in Darvin Ham, you bring in Patrick Beverly, and your intention is to be tough. Mind you that. Mind you that. So that is what I'm expecting from the Los Angeles Lakers. None of that soft nonsense, none of that soft, small ball, lax defense. No. Not when Patrick Beverly's running around. Absolutely not. So that's what I expect from Pac Bev. You know, as a fan, you got my full support to be yourself and be responsible in doing so. You know what I'm saying? They've talked a lot about how he pushed Chris Paul in the back. Much was also said that things were said that may have prompted him to say that, to do that rather, that maybe we weren't aware of. Maybe Chris Paul might have said some things to Boogie Cousins that maybe he shouldn't have said. Patrick Beverly may have overheard it and may have came to Boogie's defense. I think that is one of the rumors that's out there that I've heard from a pretty reliable source. I don't know if it's the truth or not, but what I can say is sometimes you won't hear the whole story, and maybe that doesn't justify it at all, but there may be more to know. That's all I'm saying. Either way, I'm happy Patrick Beverly's here. I think he's going to be a great Laker for us once again. Of course, we had him at first, and we cut him, which I know he held against us for a long time, but hopefully he can be full circle and win a championship with us, man. He gave so much to the Clippers. They tossed him away like he was nothing. He gave so much to the Minnesota Timberwolves. They effectively moved on in a different direction. And I think it was for the betterment, because now he's with the Lakers and we have a championship mentality about ourselves. And if we're going to overachieve it all, it's going to have a lot to do with him and his personality and his spirit, giving us that Patrick Beverly energy that he gave to the Minnesota Timberwolves last year and he gave to the Clippers for so many years. And he gave to the Rockets and in other situations that he's been a part of. So, yeah, I've been following Patrick Beverly for a long time, and I know what he can do. My issues are really injury concerns more so, but I have the same issues I have with Anthony Davis, same issue I have now with Bron, same issue I would have with Kai, you know what I mean? That's not independent to him. It's just part of the journey for a lot of guys who've played in the league for a little long. It just is what it is. So, I'm not deterred too much by the price tag at this point. Now that it's done. I do understand that, we gave up a lot to get Patrick Beverly. I don't think people see it as a lot because we didn't love the way the pieces were set up on our team, but that didn't necessarily mean that they weren't worth something to the rest of the field that maybe we just didn't price in. We paid the price of what he's worth to us as a piece that didn't fit. We didn't pay the price, and I'm talking about THT specifically, we didn't pay the price for what the rest of the league values THT becoming over the next several years. And so that's just me. I would have liked us to negotiate the latter. That's the way I would have liked to play THT from a trade standpoint. So just didn't love the way it panned out in the end, but I do like the piece we're bringing back very much, and I do like the fact that it's an expiring contract. Patrick Beverly's at I believe $15 million or something like that. I never seem to remember, but that will be coming off the books at the end of the year. And, whatever that will do for us, we know we have LeBron James on tap for that season as well. So it's a big deal, man. It's a big deal. We got a win now piece that can help us. And somebody who's going to give us an entire identity. And somebody who's going to give us a defensive mentality that we've just simply haven't had. I don't think we've had a defensive mentality of this nature since LeBron James won the championship in 2020 with us. And I could argue we're about to build a team that could be a little better defensively than that was, to be honest. So, just wanted to recap that. I don't think he and Russell Westbrook have to worry too much about playing with one another. I really don't. I think it's a good 99% chance that Russell Westbrook is traded before the end of the season. Now, how soon that happens, I don't know. I'm not going to sit up here and say he's imminent to be traded before the season starts. I don't think that. But what I'm saying is he's not going to finish the season here at all. I'm damn near 100% sure of that. So, yeah. We just have to ride out the short term and try to get victories while our team is incomplete. That's my expectation. We just got to try to find a way to get wins. And I think picking up Patrick Beverly is going to go a long way in helping us do that. Getting rid of THT is going to go a long way in helping us make this team make more sense. So, yeah, free roster spot created with Stanley Johnson out. So we definitely get to move up another one of those kids that we want to use, and I'm curious to see which one it's going to be, or if we're going to make it a trade, of course, to bring another piece or two in. So that is what I got to say, man. Yeah, once again, welcome Patrick Beverly to the team. I have expectations that you're going to help us, and I don't think that if there's an issue of any kind that you're not able to sit down like a man, like any man worth his salt, and straighten it out for the betterment of the team. And that's what I would do. Whatever it is, if it can't be overcame, then the Lakers shouldn't have made the trade. You know what I mean? Or they should have it worked into the equation that Russell Westbrook and he will never cross paths. So that's what it is. That's what I got to say. My name is BDL44. I thank you all for watching. I'm out.